is Doug Demuro, and today I am here with the Peterson Museum in beautiful Santa Margarita, California, at an event sponsored by Pennzoil to drive some cool cars. We're gonna get behind the wheel and see what's faster on a runway drag strip. So with us today we have
a Dodge Viper ACR versus a Roof CTR Yellowbird and a Dodge Viper.
Now let's hear some more about these cool cars.
The American Club Racing variant of the Dodge Viper was first introduced as a package on the 1999 Viper GTS. It made a return for the second generation of Viper, where it was put through its paces at the Nürburgring, clocking a record time of 7 minutes and 22.1 seconds. It was America's take on the extreme track machine, sporting a naturally aspirated V10 putting out 600 horsepower and 560 pound-feet of torque that came paired with exclusively a manual transmission. This snake was engineered for the track, so its straight-line speed will be awesome, but the massive rear wing will for sure take a few miles per hour off the top speed down the drag strip. Introduced in 1987, the Roof CTR features a highly pumped version of Porsche's 3.2-liter flat six, combined with a roll cage, an upgraded suspension and braking system, a fully customized 5-speed transmission, and several unique parts and body pieces. CTR stands for Group C Turbo Run. It's based on a 1987 911 Carrera 3.2, with a lower weight and drag coefficient compared to the 930, which was Porsche's factory turbocharged version of their 911. The introduction of many aluminum parts allowed Roof to drop the weight of the CTR by another 422 pounds. Among other engine modifications, they brought the total displacement from 3.2 to 3.4 liters by boring the cylinders out to 98 millimeters, and they added a fuel injection system borrowed from the Porsche 962. Twin turbochargers and twin intercoolers bring the engine's total output to 463 horsepower and 408 pound-feet of torque, giving the CTR a 0-60 time of 3.6 seconds and a top speed of 210 miles an hour, making it the fastest production car of its time. Roof officially produced only 29 units. The chassis were bought directly from Porsche, and they were sold for $142,000 each in 1987.
I'll hit second this time.
I hope.
I missed second like 4 times.
I know, man. I know. I want to see everything she's got.
Okay, that was interesting, and you see some of the problems and variables that are introduced when you're running older manual transmission cars. The ACR had trouble hooking up off the line and had some bad starts. The Yellowbird looks like it missed a shift at some point going down the road, and that's a problem. You introduce all these variables to these runs, and it's actually not just as easy as point the cars next to each other, send them out, and see what happens. There's a lot of different stuff that could happen versus, say, just drag racing a Tesla Plaid where you step on the throttle and it goes. And so that was kind of an interesting run. It was sort of give and take. I'm still not even sure exactly which car is faster because it didn't really seem like we got a really clean run out of either car both times, which is a reality of drag racing sometimes.
He said, what's my handicap? Do I get a handicap? Oh, come on. Your handicap is that I've never driven this car before. I'm gonna drive like an old lady.
But you got 200 horsepower and I'm 72.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna have the slowest start in the whole thing. Situation. This car is not owned by me, it's owned by my friend Max. Max came here, he was going to race this car, and he just so happened to have a call during the 30 minutes that we're doing the races with this car. So now, I'm stuck here driving this thing that I've never driven before, which has a notorious reputation for killing people, and I don't want to kill people today. That isn't my main goal of being here. But you need to be comfortable with it. And literally, this is my first time driving this car. Will you drive this? Do one. Do one. You got a mulligan in you for me? I need the mulligan. Finish, huh?
Okay, that didn't quite go as planned. I have never driven the Viper ACR before, and so for my runs against the older, less powerful Viper, which I should have destroyed, I had no idea how to hook up the tires. I'd literally never driven the car before, and that's a car that takes some skill to get launched. It's got an enormous amount of power and no traction stability control. You have to know what you're doing, and I do not. So when Max got in the car, the actual owner of the car, he did runs against the original Viper and still had trouble hooking it up. And he's owned that black and red ACR for years, and that gives you an idea of just how difficult it is to actually get that car hooked up and get a good start out of that ACR. It's a fun car. It obviously should beat the old Viper, but it's not easy to just jump in a car, slam the throttle down, and go in an ACR with 600 horsepower. It's a lot easier doing that older Viper, and there are situations in drag racing where less power is actually an advantage, and you just saw one of them. If we knew what we were doing, we would have won, but we didn't. So there you have it, some amazing 1970s, 80s, and 90s exotic cars all racing against each other, some amazing runs, and it was really cool to actually see these cars driving fast. You so rarely get to do that. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Pennzoil, for sponsoring this wonderful, ridiculous event, and be sure to like and subscribe to the Peterson Museum YouTube channel for more great stuff coming up.